Hello there. This is part, I think, four of our training series, and you can see where we are. So right now, let's do the this inner layer and see how that goes. So I've already set up the material, the basic material for the inside, and assigned it to the inner area. And I think this should also have that. This inside layer here should also have the inside material. And yep. So what we're going to do is first make sure that we UV unwrap this correctly, and because we are going to be painting this area over here. I thought of using the pointness node that you can find under geometry input, geometry here, this pointness to kind of highlight the edges. It's the equivalent of what you would see when you have a cavity turned on like this. You can see it kind of highlights the edges, and you can use that as a mask, but the problem is it doesn't really give you a strong gradient that we can use here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to paint the mask there. It's very simple to paint, so yeah, let's go back to material shader and set that up. Obviously you need to UV unwrap this. I've already marked seam, so I just need to kind of pack all these meshes into one UV map. So I'll just select all the islands and then pack islands, and I think we are good. So this here, I should just scale it up just a bit. I think that's fairly good. So now we can go in and start painting on this. So to set up the painting, shouldn't be that hard. You can go to, do we have an option for painting here? Let me see, texture painting. And just go to texture painting and first change this to material so that you can see what you're going to paint on. And then you can go to this tools icon or tools menu, and of course you want to paint onto the material, and make sure you are selecting the right material and you have the right object selected, and then we can set up a new material. We're going to paint let's paint diffuse because let's use a high resolution map. So I'll just multiply this by 3 and this by 3 like so, and I can hit let me just make this, I think, no, just click OK, and we are ready for this. So if I start painting, you can already see what I'm painting. Let me change this to my image editor so that I can have the reference back here. Yes, so we can start painting. I'm going to just paint a dark color here. Now if you want to see just what you're painting, you can just do that. You can just change from look dev to this here, to the workspace render. So let me just increase my brush a bit. I'm just going to paint the edges. So want to increase this a bit, maybe reduce that. Let me see. What I'm going to do right now, just so that I can easily paint on this. You can see this is rotated just a bit, so I'm just going to unrotate it so that it's easier for me to paint on in top mode like this. So now I can go back to paint mode, texture paint. You can even paint directly on the mesh here, whatever you want, whatever works for you. So now I can paint, just give it a light highlight, and I just want to make sure that I'm always looking at this image so that I can look at. That's why I'm pinning it here, so that I'm always looking at it. Around like that, and we can subtract some of it. I think just repaint white in some areas here. You want a smooth transition here, so can play with that. There used to be a feather option where you control the strength or the feather of the brush, but I don't think I think it was removed or something. I think it's, let's try fall off here and see, have custom, see how this looks. Let me just, let me change the mix to something like lighten. Then maybe reduce the strength a bit. I think that's good for this part here. And now let's look at this. We just need to select this, change to texture paint, and start painting that. This might be a little bit hard because of how, no, actually it may not be, because I think this is it here. Let's see. Just make sure that I'm painting the right object. Make sure I change back the blending mode. So to get this side as well. I can always also use the soften or smudge smear tool to kind of soften those brush strokes. Let's try smudge. Smudge just ruining things. I think that's good enough for our mask. We just need to save this as inside mask, and now we can use that as our mask. So let me bring back the reference image here and start using that mask. So we just need to re-import it, and let's see. So we can start by using it as the color to drive the color. So I'll just add a convert color ramp here, and I'll sample this green and then this yellowish color. Just need to make them a little bit dense, I guess. I think something like that. It's not too bad. Now we just need to add in a few details there, and for our reflections and for our roughness and bumps. So for that, we're going to obviously use the noise texture, the noise map. So texture, noise, we can preview this node. The scale is a bit too high, so I'll just push that way down, something like that. Like we can fix that, send that to our bump map, and also use it as our roughness. I'm passing it through math node just to have some control over the roughness, because you can see when I connect this node to here, I'm losing the control I get with this roughness. So adding a math node there, I mean, if I connected this directly to the roughness, you can see I don't have a way to control the roughness, the amount of roughness anymore. So that's why I'm getting it through, passing it through a math node, so that I have a way to control that roughness. If we preview this node, we should start seeing a few of the things coming, kind of working as we expect them to. So let's see. Okay, it seems we do have a lot of bump, so I'm just going to reduce that by a bit, something like that. And the roughness is also a bit too high, so I can now make it a little bit reflective by playing with this value like that. I think the scale is also still too high, so we can reduce that even further. Maybe reduce the roughness, the bumps as well. The bumps look a bit stretched, I don't know why. So let me just add texture coordinate mapping. So I'm using the shortcut Ctrl T to add these two nodes here, texture coordinate and mapping. I'm just going to change this to object mapping, just to see if that will kind of reduce the stretching we are seeing there. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better. I also think we can add a few colors in here. So I think I can add another one here. God. Okay. Let me try giving it a little bit of, okay, that's too much. I think I can make it, maybe make this green. I need to blend these a little bit better. So Let me just remove this. You can also see a thick layer of this outer coat. So we can also mimic that by using another color ramp here and feeding from the mask we created. So you can see it's a bit brownish, but let's first make a mask for it. So a black and white mask. Cutting off too many pixels here, so let's just bring this back. And before we do that, let's try using a math node instead. Convert math node. Let's try using power. See how it pushes that a little bit back. Our mask could have been better, but yeah, I guess. It's a bit too thick, so we need to push it even further. Let's try multiply. I guess I can't push the mask further than that without cutting through the layer, and we are losing a lot of it on this side. Yeah, so maybe we just, instead of using that mask, can just use a loop, this loop here. Maybe add an extra edge loop there. And simply give it a different material. So I'll just duplicate this, assign, make sure it's a different material, and just make it a bit more brownish. And maybe the bump can be a little bit more. So in the next part, we can look at how to make this inside part. Thank you.